Very good morning to you, children. Here is your social studies teacher, Mrs. Sumati, continuing the topic that is chapter 8, Impact of Technology on Livelihood, part 2. Already we studied that, how the technology is changing nowadays and what are the changes basing according to the olden days and now. Of course, in our daily life, whatever the changes. Now, I'm continuing. Decline in the use of animal power. Means nowadays animal use of animals was decreased in the agricultural field. In the place of animals, they have started to use tractors and other tools. So here, tractors began to be used for transportation. Before we studied that, in the bullocks were used for ploughing, transportation, for agricultural operations, whatever it is. But nowadays they are using tractors. At the same time, many other small tools they are using for ploughing, sowing, weeding, harvesting, and these are all some changes we got in the agricultural areas. Over the years, the use of animals have decreased now. Year to year by year, if you check it, totally the use of animals in the agricultural fields decreased. Small farmers are not able to use the modern agricultural techniques. Why they can't use? Because their land forms are very small. Here, the agricultural tools are used only on the large sized farms. So, those machines are unable to be used by small farmers. Hence, what they are doing? They are completing their works in their agricultural area or their land, and they are looking for the employment in the cities, otherwise in other farmers land during the rest of time. That means within the 3-4 months in their lands the work will complete, so they have to waste the time for 8 months rest of the time. So in that time, rest of time, they can use the time, utilize the time for working in that cities, otherwise in others agricultural lands. Loss of employment because of combined harvester. Actually, when the combined harvester, it is a mission introduced for the agricultural works. When it is introduced, many of the laborers lost their job. And what is its work? Totally, it completes all the works basing on the agriculture. So combined harvester is called CH, is one of the important machines used for the harvesting the paddy. It harvests the crop. It completes the harvesting, threshing, cleaning the grain from chaff. That means after getting the grain, to separate the hollow pieces, hollow one it will be there now. That hollow one is called the chaff. So that hollow chaff is separated from the grain. Then proper grains will get it. As it combines the activities of the harvesting, threshing, winnowing, that's why it is called that as a combined harvester. It's completing threshing, winnowing, harvesting, and all the works it is completing. Instead of that, whatever the laborers work now, all those works were completed by the combined harvesters. That's why it is called combined harvester. Combined means winnowing, threshing, harvesting. These are all combined. It is going on. It is used for harvesting. That's why it is called the combined harvester. Okay. This is the combined harvester. You see that this machine is cutting the crop. At the same time, after cutting, in the machine itself, the total process is completing. At last, it is getting the directly grains. See, it is dumping. So, with limited time, it is completing the work. At the same time, fastly it is working. Of course, maybe more money of investment is there, but even though it's completing within the limited time all the works, so it's easy for the large landlords. So they may use it, but small farmers this can't be possible. Okay. Use of CH helps in timely harvest of paddy. Within the limited time, it's completing, and it takes the less time. reduce the crop loss. Crops also will not lose because the machine is cutting continuation without losing. Machine cuts the crop. At the same time, it helps the farmers to tackle the peak time labor shortage. Means whenever the labor is necessary, the farmer may not get it. At such a times, this type of machines are helpful for the farmer. And it also says that vagaries of weather, means suppose weather conditions are not good. Mostly in our Andhra Pradesh and Orissa, the coastal areas, suddenly we get the cyclones or depressions or something, and that also at the time of harvesting. So mostly the farmers are suffering. But suppose suddenly they come to know that within the limited time they can complete all the works with the help of combined harvester. Further, the farmers are able to sow the second crop also. Sometimes when the crop completes within the limited time, cutting and harvesting and all the works completed, then they can grow the second crop also without delaying. So their dependency on laborers is also reduced. So because of the CH, what happened? They were unable to depend on the laborers. They are totally ready to get the CH and complete all the works. A study on the use of CH in 2003 reported that the following, mostly once they studied that when they used the CH combined harvest in 2003, they have given the report what are the benefits were there. Here the farmers are able to save about 1 quintal of grain per acre. Means quintal means 100 kgs of rice or paddy. Actually we are using 25 kgs of rice. Or of course our childhood we used that 100 kgs of rice, one bag. So here while farming, while harvesting, they'll get the farmers for each acre cutting, keeping the chaff and grains. Afterwards again that to dump it in one place. Again that threshing is going on. Of course winnowing is going on. All those process, in between they may lose the grain. But here when the farmer is using combined harvester, without wasting, per acre they are able to save 1 quintal, that means 100 kgs of paddy, which would have been otherwise lost during manual harvesting. As said already, when the manpower they used, that laborers used, they lost that. But when the machines were used, 1 quintal is saved for him. And even CH operators charge about 1100 to 1400 per day. Per day if they work, they'll charge from 1100 to 1400 only. The large farmers are able to earn by hiring their CH. That means if they want to purchase, suppose the large farmers, then they can bring it for hiring, that means for rent, and they can pay per day 1100 to 1400, because within the limited time, without a headache, they can complete all the works. There for them no need to search of laborers and all. So it is easy for them. And even CH harvests paddy of about 1 acre in 1 hour. If suppose the laborers they are using more members, it may take more time. But here combined harvesters, if they are using, it takes 1 acre of the area, within 1 hour it completes the work. If this was done manually, suppose laborers have done, 5 laborers may be required to work for 4 days. Within 1 acre, 5 laborers, 4 days it will take time. Instead of that, combined harvester, 1 hour it is completing. If suppose 10 laborers were employed instead of 5 laborers, if suppose they employ the 10 laborers, then it will complete for 2 days. It depends upon the laborer has to available at that time. The laborer should come for that work. As per that only, it reduces the time or increase the time. Suppose there are 250 agricultural laborers in a village. 250 agricultural laborers are there in a village, and which has 1000 acres of paddy. Suppose it will take more time, because 1 acre only they are taking 4 days, 5 members means. Suppose 1000 acres means it will take that more time. Suppose if combined harvester is used, it will complete the work in 55 days. That means 1 hour, 1 acre. Like that, 1000 acres, no? Automatically 55 days. And working 18 hours every day. Suppose they are working for 18 hours per day. Actually per day 24 hours. But 24 hours we cannot work, no? Continuation. We need some rest. So like that, if 18 hours they work every day, 55 days, 1000 acres of paddy harvesting will complete. But each one of the 250 workers will lose the job, that is of 80 days of employment. Clear, Nana, here? Suppose 55 days it's completing, but here 250 workers, 80 days they'll lose the job. And extensive farm mechanization is leading to replacement of laborers. Nowadays, if we are using the machines, it is called extensive agriculture. So, that agriculture when we are following, what happened? Automatically, the laborers are losing the job. So, the extensive farming is the replacement of the laborers. So, here laborers are losing. Agricultural laborers and farmers working on other fields lost out to machines used in the farm. When the machines are used, agricultural laborers and those who are the small farmers who are there working on others agricultural land, they are losing their job. If people are not getting sufficient employment opportunities in villages, where will they go? Suppose in those agricultural land, their own village, they are losing their job because of the CH. So, if they are not getting proper employment opportunities in their village, where will they go? There is very little employment opportunity outside. Our native place only we can get that work. If suppose we move outside, we cannot get the opportunities more. So, use of machinery also changed the nature of work done by agricultural laborers. Here when we are using the machines, agricultural laborers' work also have changed. They are required to drive tractors. Now they have learned that driving the tractors for various agricultural operations, even irrigating fields using the pump sets, and even they are using of the sprayers, pesticides and those they have to spray it now, and applying the fertilizers, work with harvesters, threshers, these all they are learning. In many small towns, workshops began to be established. What happened? Nearby the villages, some small towns are there. In those towns, workshops were started. Those to establish it to repair agricultural machinery. What they are doing? Whatever the machines were there, they are using for the agriculture. In those towns, they have the shops for the repair of those agricultural tools. So here what happened? The agricultural labor lost the job. But in the small towns, the workshops were established and they got the new job. Means some new jobs were created here. However, this is not enough to provide employment on a large scale. Here it is providing that new job, but it is not sufficient. See, this is the fourth car. Previous, just we discussed that assembly line. This is the when it started in USA, starting of this stage, assembling the part. Here wheels are attached. This top or engine, separate whatever the body parts are there, those are all attached in this car. This is the fourth car, okay, at that time. This is the new with robots. Totally all the assembling part is going on with robots. You see, each and everything robots only doing. Technology and industry. Textile industry consists of various activities of making cloth. We know that textile industry means clothes. Previous 7th class we studied about Dharmavaram sarees and all. So this industry, various activities of the make cloth only it is there. You know that what is that getting the yarn from the cotton and that yarn again used for weaving the cloth and warp, weft, dyeing, all these processes we studied. Today, about 10 crore people are working in different segments of the textile industry. Actually, this is the large employment is there after agriculture, textile industry only large employment. 10 crore people are engaged with the work in textile industry. So the textile industry is the second largest employer after agriculture in India. First, approximately 71% population is engaged in agriculture in our India. The next employment is second largest is the textile industry, and about 10 crores of people are working in that. Impact of textile mills. Here the Britishers introduced the power loom production, that is actually replaced by the hand looms, because we have each house hand looms. But when the Britishers introduced the power loom means with the use of power they started the weaving of the cloth. So when the mills started making the cloth, the demand of the handloom weavers totally declined. So this happened actually for many years. But later on, the mills started facing competition from power loom. Later what happened? Mills were started. Then power looms started to decline. That means it's unable to compete with the mills. So the power loom crushers that began operating from small workshops, because power looms are small workshops. Very few machines were there. Mills means more machines used to be there. What is the major difference? Power loom unit and the mill production is, mills produce more production at a time, but power looms are small units, no, less production we can see. A mill or factory also called a mill. At that time it's used to be called a mill or a factory may have hundreds of looms. Mostly more looms are there in a more space. But it is a factory employing tens and hundreds of workers in different sections. Different areas, from 10, it's maybe one of the area 20 or another area 30 or 40 like that. Different basing on that capacity or the basing on the requirement, it's maybe have tens to hundreds of workers in a different section. But a power loom unit will have only a small number of workers and is established at home with a few looms or in a relatively smaller space, such as in workshop sites. Power loom actually small number of workers and it's maybe at home with few looms, otherwise relatively small space or small shops under one shed, maybe they utilized that to run the power loom units. Those are workshops. So this is the difference between the mill and a power loom unit. Most mills produce very high quality cloth. Mostly the mills are producing most good quality cloth, whereas power looms mostly produce low quality, otherwise average quality. This is the power loom. See, with using the power, it continues weaving the cloth. In power looms, a wide variety of fabrics are produced, such as shirting, shootings. Of course, shirting and shooting means for the gents wear, you know that. Sari, dhoti, sheetings, towels, chadar, furnishing, shawls, blankets. These are all made in the power loom. Those are all made out of cotton, blended, synthetic, silk, wool. So these are all made in the power looms. Those are different wide variety fabrics actually. What is the impact of power looms? In 1940s, there were only 40,000 power looms were there. Now nearly 5 lakh power loom units are there with 23 lakh looms in India. See, 5 lakh power looms and those also altogether 23 lakh looms are there in the power loom units. Most units are small. Those are having 1 to 8 looms only. I said, power loom means like small workshop. And these small, most units are there in Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat. And those also have more number of power loom units. Nearly 50,000 power looms are being operated in Andhra Pradesh. In our Andhra, almost 50,000 power looms are there. Since 1980s, power looms account for largest share of the cloth production. To produce the cloths, power looms only takes largest place or largest share, and in their share it is increasing over the years, but even that share is increasing day by day. Power looms moved from large mills to small sheds and houses and has led to many changes in textile industry. Actually, power looms actually moved from large mill to small, it became as a unit, power loom unit. Otherwise small sheds houses became, otherwise it's maybe only limited to houses. Like that many changes took place in that textile industry. Nearly 60 lakh persons are working, getting employment in the power looms. 60 lakhs of people are working only in the power looms. Then you can imagine that power looms, how much it's increased. This is the time for assignment, Nana. If you listen the video, you can do the assignment. We can meet in the next class. Bye, children.